something. I do want to, I don't know, maybe it's from God, because it's kind of like, I'm not really sure that you guys want to see my face today. Okay, I'm not like,
Dude, it doesn't matter. You don't need to. You don't need to come on camera,
yeah,
man.
okay,
It doesn't
yeah,
matter. No biggie. I'm not on camera either.
yeah,
So
right.
it's I'm actually. I put a shirt on just in case I needed to come on camera. But the fact that you're not on camera means I don't have to put my camera on. So I'm quite happy. Thank you.
Okay.
Um. So this guy, right? Just before we start to talk, do you want to just listen to what Paul
Yeah. We
Barnes?
can finish off what he's saying, and I will try to set.
No, not what he's saying. What Paul Barnes said um, yesterday.
Um,
Paul Barnes is a defense attorney. Um, he was Alex Jones's lawyer, one of Alex Jones's lawyers, but he's actually, I mean, this guy is so fucking on the ball. It's ridiculous.
okay. Yeah, do you want to continue now?
Basically he's going to lay it out why Palestine, Hamas, basically, why Hamas exists and why it's not going to go anywhere. Nothing's going to, like, what Hamas is asking for isn't going to happen, because the second that they get what they want, then there's no reason to fund them anymore, and then they go bankrupt because they've got nothing to produce. They've got nothing to export. They've got nothing. The country has nothing. Palestine has nothing to give to the world. So it's the only money that it gets is billions in funding from Iran and Syria and in whatever, wherever. I didn't. Do you know what? Even after all this time that I've known you, I didn't fully appreciate the difference between the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. The fact that on the West Bank you've got the PLO,
Yeah.
and on the Gaza Strip it's Hamas.
Um, I'll tell you what, Rich. I really, really don't want to get to the whole politics side of it and how it works. I don't know, especially not today. It kind of like, for me, it looks like I don't know, the last link in the chain of importance. Okay, with everything which happens in the last few days, and the names of who's transferring money to and who's like established who and everything.
Oh, it's
From
all bullshit, because at the end of the day, it's individuals that are being associated with these groups or these countries, but actually at the end of the day, they're all really part of the same group. It's not,
Yeah,
yeah.
I tell you what, I started off like saying when I was on that I'm really not like in the mood today. Usually I come like to come over to your shows and be cheerful and happy and sing, and be like with light spirit and with uh,
Yeah, but the reality of life is that life is not like that every day. So
yeah. And I do grasp life as a funny thing. Okay, I do try to find the humoristic and the optimistic side of things. Usually, also like when things are bad. But like I'll tell you today, just things are real bad today. Okay, uh, like I was on your show. When it started off on Saturday. And once when I was like going on your show, it was still in the beginning
it
of it.
wasn't real yet, was it? Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't. It wasn't really real
yeah,
yet
yeah,
for you.
yeah,
It was.
yeah. I try to be like taking it as I usually do when I go on your shows while we have crises like that. I'm trying to, to be confident and to tell everyone that this is like, just a mere sight and this whole Iron Dome thing. It's whatever like makes the noise and all the sirens and I'm sure, no one should get stressed over this because this is what the media wants and everyone wants, but like this time when I went on your show, and I told you also that on your show that this time it feels a lot more different, because of course because of like lots of factors. Okay, you can't compare what happened last few days in Israel to anything which happened in the history, except maybe the Yom Kippur War that we mentioned over there that happened
Uh,
amazingly,
it,
coincidentally, 50 years exactly after.
it was
Yeah,
it was 50 years and one day. Apparently, it was 50 years and
50
one day,
years in one
according
day.
to
Yeah,
Bonbon.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
those meetings
But
of
it
what?
was exactly the same thing happened. They
Yeah,
made multiple attacks.
yeah. And also like
Um,
regarding with Judaism, if you remember, I told you that we begin like counting the days from the evening before. Okay,
yeah,
so it kind of like it doesn't it goes like very well with the Gregorian date, but also like another coincidence, okay, that can give you a very good clue on who's behind all the evil that we are seeing in the last days, is that it was made on the second day of Sukkot holiday, which is known as the day of Simchat Torah.
mm,
Simchat Torah is the holiday in which, by Jewish tradition, we end up reading the Torah book and beginning it from the start off. And usually, like it's being celebrated by all kinds of like circling that is being made by Jewish people with the Torah book around like synagogues and all kinds of like public places, and it considers like a very happy holiday, and it gives you a clue when it was made on that holiday in specific, that who's behind, like who actually wants to hurt the celebrations of the book of God, and
mm.
so it kind of like this kind of like the rivalry that we are seeing on the spiritual realm is so the way that I see it over the last few years is so being reflected on the physical realm. So it's so I'm not like surprised that it's went on like with the symbology of 50 years after Yom Kippur and in Simchat Torah, just for the symbolism, okay? And once there's like symbolism like that, I immediately identify the forces of evil, okay? Because whoever needs to put down symbolism on top of the bad thing that he's doing, okay, he's doing it for the
Yeah.
laughs, okay? He's doing it for the mocking, and so yeah, so those
Think-
symbolism is not a coincidence, okay? And whoever like think it's a coincidence, it's he can keep on burying his head in the sand, and until
So symbols and sigils have, energy infused in them through belief and, the power of perception. So what we've got is a bunch of young lads, Muslim lads, who are kept away from the girls. There's strict rules regarding boys and girls, and and how they interact in the Muslim faith. They're not allowed to masturbate. So they're a bunch of pent up lads with a lot of energy, a lot of frustration, and they're getting brainwashed, absolutely fucking brainwashed into hating Jewish people.
yeah.
And the same thing's happening with with Israeli
Yeah,
soldiers,
yeah,
though.
exactly.
Israeli soldiers are being brainwashed into hating Palestinians. It's the left versus right paradigm that the Hegelian dialect basically in full effect,
Yeah,
because they control both
yeah.
sides.
Richie, I told you that I want to maybe like get to the politics a little bit later. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's hard though, dude.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard not
because
to.
I mainly what I want to mainly what I want to share with you today is more more on the feeling side. Okay, just a second, Rich.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, number two, Rich. Um,
Yeah.
what I wanted to share with you guys today is more on the emotional side of my personal feeling and the feeling of all of Israel. Okay, I do believe that.
Bro, don't forget what I just said about Jason Shirker. It applies to you massively as well, right? So you're a sensitive guy in touch with his emotions. You're an empath. You're not just. It's not just what you're feeling. You're experiencing. You're feeling. You're sensing everybody else's
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
as well. So
yeah, and everyone is taking it to his own place. Okay, for me personally, like on the day that I was with you on the broadcast. Later on, I was like updating a little bit through television, what's going on, and started to see the horrible things. And I'm also like a member of all kinds of like WhatsApp groups of the trans community, the trans music, of course, and over there, like throughout the next few hours, all kinds of like names and people and pictures start popping up over there in the group. And once I was like witness to this, horrifying thing that was like going on over there. So, um, and I saw like they were publishing all kinds of like videos from what was going on. So, in decision of a moment, I decided that I'm closing the television and I'm getting out of all of those groups
mm,
because it was really, really too much for me.
yeah,
Okay,
man.
it
Yeah.
was too much for me to bear. I know myself that I can't witness those kind of things. I think it's because the relation to reality. If it's like
Mm,
if you like watching a horror movie or you're watching like I don't know, even like a porn movie, okay, and so if you see something which kind of like collides with your
mm.
kind of like good sense of the word or whatever, you can tell yourself, yeah, this is a movie and these are like actors and I can bear it, okay, but
Mm.
ooh, hear the booms over
When
here.
you know it's real, when you know it's
Yeah,
real, it's
when
different.
you know it's real. And besides that, I was kind of like very terrified to find out the people that I know over there from those videos. Okay.
That's the thing, right? This is the worst thing about it, right? Because you have such a close connection to it because you know you have friends that were there,
Yeah.
and then that means that your imagination then kicks in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is where the cheeky monkeys have a fucking field day.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. And this is the hardest thing about it. This is the hardest thing
Yeah.
about it. Uh, that,
Don't let your mind go there,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not doing them a
Yeah.
disservice. You're
Exactly.
not doing anybody a disservice by not letting your mind go there.
Yeah.
You know what's possible. You don't need to picture it. Picturing it is horrific and will put you into a state of fear and also, and sadness and terror and all of that. And that's exactly what they want.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
if you're there, you'll
Yeah.
experience it, but because you're not there, you don't need to go that far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm totally aware of what you said. Okay, and I know
Yeah.
that, and this is the reason that I did what I decided to do and close down the television.
Yeah. Good
I,
call,
I
man.
I got out from all those groups of the WhatsApp thing, and
When you say you got out, you didn't leave the group. You did.
I left. I
You
left. I
left.
left the group. Left the group.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm
Right.
not getting any more messages from them. I don't want like to be exposed to anything.
No.
Also, like now, and I'm talking to anybody else, I'm telling them, and they start talking about, did you see that in that video? Did you see what they do over there?
Yeah.
I'm like, shh,
Yeah, you don't
shh,
want to. You
no,
don't want
no,
to think
shut up.
about
I
it.
don't want to hear about it. Okay,
Yeah.
because
Well, I respect that,
I
mate.
know that this is horrible energy that I will get into my soul
Yeah.
and my body, and
It would just put you into a bad vibration, man.
yeah,
It'll put
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, and
into a really bad place, and then it, then it's just gonna perpetuate. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a good call,
Yeah,
mate.
and of course, and I know that people that will do get into that, and some people have to get into that because they have like more relative people that are into all that. So I believe that the people that will get into that, they will get absolutely mad and crazy and scarred for life with what they're gonna,
Yeah, and the trouble is as well is that they will begin to they will hate, they will start to hate, and to just reflect it straight back, this hatred, and then when they hear about Palestinians getting killed and murdered and massacred, they'll say, oh, this is great. This is great because of what you, and it's just a back and
yeah,
forth, tit for
yeah,
tat,
yeah,
tit for
yeah,
tat.
yeah. Okay, I will get down. I guess I think that I will try to look now and share if it's possible. I'll sit over here. Like from my Facebook page. See if it's possible to do like sharing of like what's going on, and
That's right.
I would start like looking throughout this broadcast all kinds of like maybe people that I can tell you a thing or two about them because the thing is I will tell you my story. First off, you were like started. I heard you on the broadcast earlier, and you started trying to tell my story about the party that I was planning to go to, and you were kind of like complicated with there. Um, so the thing is that if you remember, I had my birthday last week, okay,
Yeah.
and so I had this really cool party in my place, and afterwards I planned on to do like. There's this guy DJ that I really admire named the Freak Show, and he actually he produced his new album, and he planned down like a party over at the date that was supposed to be that was the 7th of October when all things went down, and was about to initiate his new album. And I told him that yeah, it's also like goes very well with my birthday. So why shouldn't you like dedicate this event to me? It's like usually they do that, like they titling you like the event as
Mm.
your birthday, and um, and um, and yeah, and he was really cool with that and everything. Um, oh, just a second, yeah, just a second. Um, and and then and then like a few days before, and even he told me like he's gonna put down like my his set and gonna dedicate it for me at the party or whatever. Okay, and I was thrilled, and I was thrilled and excited for this party. And then like on I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I think my girlfriend told me that. My girlfriend told me it's like the date was changed. Okay, that something doesn't work out for her, like with the Saturdays. So I checked out the flyer again for the party, and I saw that they changed the date to like the middle of like the beginning of November. And
Yeah.
then I was like pissed off. I said, "Whoa, they spoiled my party. It won't be like on my birthday now, and whole thing is ruined." And I said, oh well, no, no worries, no biggie. But then, like after what, and this party was supposed to be on that area that everything went down, okay? So this is what like was the save that I got from like being over there at where the party went down, and this is I don't know there were like many areas of activity where like people were killed and kidnapped, and it's this nature party that you're talking of. It's for me personally, it's the most touchy and most like personal. Um, Now, I want to just a second. The thing that went down over there is um, just a second. Yeah, you mentioned earlier the girl that was that managed to get away. She's my one of my good friends, and as you said, she's a very beautiful person, and she's even more beautiful from the inside.
Yeah.
Sorry that I'm a bit emotional right now. And she went to this party to actually work there in the beginning of the party. And like later on, she did feel well, and she went down to have a sleep like in one of the vehicles over there. And then her friend that I also know that she was like a friend of mine. She just like woke her up in the middle of the sleep, and then she's like got her head up of the car and saw all the horrible scene that was happening over there, and she just jumped. She was like pulled out of the car like in the middle of their sleep, okay,
Mm.
and started running. And then like there were like cars over there, and that they were like running also from this party, and she was actually like got into one of those cars, and then she looked back and saw that like people on the back are still like massacring over there,
Mm.
and she got off out of this car, and she didn't want to leave them behind. And then she was standing over there, and like another car just drove by, and someone from the car just took his hand and pulled her into the car, and this is how she was saved. And
Dude.
yeah. Now and I talked to her with her yesterday, and she's I don't know
I imagine she's
regarding like
probably
the things that she's been
traumatized.
through. It's amazing that I'm still able to talk with her, and she actually did like got like a good sense, I think, out of uh, out of all this.
Mm.
Like regarding fate and yeah. Um, just a second, I'm trying to find. Um, hmm, just a second. Okay. Yeah. Do you see the girl like in the middle of it? Okay.
Yeah.
Her name is Sharon, and she used to go with me to lots and lots of parties. And she was kidnapped at that party, probably.
Right.
This is the post that one of her friends is looking for her, and like don't know where they are. um, I want to just one more person to show. I know that this is kind of like um, a real thing to bear. For me, it's hard as well. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I appreciate you doing this. It's
Now, this guy over here, he's the page of his wife, Ayelet. He's like lifting her up on in this picture, and they are these guys, this couple. They're like going at it at something like 2-3 parties every weekend, and they are the grandfathers of like the trans family in Israel,
Yeah.
and and they are like very very like in the parties they're doing very nice things around. Um, I want to show like is going on with this with this spray thing. Okay, it's like cooling off people at parties.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Free hugs.
yeah, and it's like going every like doing rounds and cooling people there,
Yeah.
and
The sort of guy I used to know people they're the sort of people that go around with free lollipops and
yeah,
stuff and just helping people have a good time.
yeah, and so he got kidnapped, and over this in this party. Um, and yes, and his wife managed to get away.
Right.
His wife managed to get away, and she's like
Thank God.
all hardworking at home. Like she doesn't know where he is. He wasn't like contacting in any way. And so I think that they will stop with this.
Yeah.
With this thing about the people that were killed or captured in this event, because for me it's heartbreaking, and it's endless. Okay, it's endless, and
Yeah.
it's and as I told you, I don't want to get to deal with this so much. Okay, because the reasons I told you before, but and I do want to get into a little bit of like talking more on the politics side of it, and the actual thing, and the actual war that is, in my perspective, is happening at this moment. Um, I will need few minutes of recess. All right.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Okay, and I'll get back to you with a little more like I know my perspective with the reality, which is nowadays.
Yeah. All right,
All
mate.
right, cool.
But you take a little
All
recess.
right.
I'm gonna share what Paul Barnes was saying with
Okay. Uh,
things.
I know.
I think we all need to read more books. If everyone could read every single book in Jason Brashears' library, I'm pretty sure we'd all have a much better gauge of things. Everything in Jason Brashears' bibliography, all the books that he's read, if we read all of those books as well, I think we might come to the same conclusions that he has. Regardless of what you think of the man, and what you might think of the man, I think if we all read the same books, burger equals civilian or citizen, yeah, that's about right, man. I don't think you'd benefit from reading Jackie Collins either, but I think reading Gurdjieff and Ouspensky and the guy that read, oh God, all of them. I can't even think of the authors, man. Can't even think of them.
Hey, Rich.
Yo.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry for the long recess. And hopefully I'm in better shape than I left the first segment.
Listen, don't worry, mate. Don't even give
Yeah,
it a second thought, right? Don't even.
yeah. I'm feeling better, like a little bit, like got a few I know emotional things out of my chest, and
Who came? Who you said somebody came round? Was it family, friends?
yeah, like I have my kids over here today because they are because of this situation they don't have schools.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna make you feel much better.
So yeah, I got my kids over here, and if you hear someone is like yelling the background, it's my son is like trashing people over at Fortnite and
No problem. Tell your
doing it
son.
with
Tell
doing
your
it with
son we
his
said.
friends aggressively.
What's your son's name?
Zohar,
Zohar.
Zohar, yeah.
Zohar.
Zohar, it's kind of like you all know the book of the Zohar, but like Zohar, it's kind of like the meaning of it. It's like glowing, something which is
Yeah.
glowing. Okay.
Well, give him my love, mate. Tell him
Yeah.
good luck.
Sure.
Like more power to him. Fortnite. Rah, go on.
Usually, like
Destroy them.
there's like a thing. I don't know if it's like proven or not, but there's a thing that coincidentally or not, people are like naming their sons, okay, their first sons, after the singer that they liked as like they were a fan of as teenagers or children or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, so also like it goes with me because like Zohar, it's like I don't know if I did it like intentionally or not. I just like the name, but the most famous Zohar in Israel is Zohar Gov. Is was kind of the revolutionary of the Eastern music in Israel back in the 80s, and he's considered till today like the king of Israeli of music, or just the king, okay? And he had a song named Elinor, okay, which was one of his famous songs. And then, like afterwards, when my wife was with the second child, we were going to a restaurant and we were talking about the names for the upcoming daughter. And I told her, yeah, let's get the next waitress, which is coming over. We'll get her name to be the name of the daughter. And she came over. Her name was Elinor, of this waitress. And then like said to wife, oh, it's kind of like funny because Zohar has a song named Elinor, okay? And said, funny, funny, funny. And then actually when she was born, we were like struggling with finding a name. And then, yeah, we said, yeah, we remembered that thing that we said at that restaurant, and we got her a name. And it's like when people are like asking me the names of my children, so I like, yeah, one is Zohar and one is Elinor, and then they ask me, oh, you called her because of the song of Zohar, Elinor, and yeah, so that's the story of my children's name. Also, I told you like in the past that every name in Hebrew has like a meaning, okay? Uh, and it's not like English names, which doesn't mean shit. So yeah, my name is Neil is a field, okay? Like it's plowed field, and Shoshani, it resembles to the word in Hebrew of Shoshana, which is a rose, and kind of like Shoshani, it's kind of like the Hebrew name that they gave my grandfather when he came from Romania, and his name was Rosenkrantz, which is kind of like a bouquet of roses or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosenkranz, is that sounds like an Austrian name as well, or like
It was like
maybe
Romanian,
Swiss.
Ukrainian territory, something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Um, anyway, I think that we should get down to the second segment about what is happening in Israel in the last few days. Uh, with the emotional side, I think that I kind of like closed things down this previous segment, and I really thank you for that, Richie.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
I was like, getting up this morning with really such a harsh emotions, and spoke to my mother and whatever, and
Yeah, I could tell because for one thing, believe it or not, what I'm feeling, right, the
mhm,
way that I've been feeling,
yeah,
it is, I feel like I'm sensing how you're feeling.
yeah.
And and
The
it's
hundreds and thousands of miles away from us won't like.
I
It
mean,
doesn't matter.
that's how
Yeah,
I know. That's how I know that this time it's different. This isn't like This isn't like when the Iron Dome fired off that last time, and you showed the videos of it, and we could see the. I can't remember if we actually saw. Yeah, we saw missiles, didn't we? And you could certainly hear them, and the you know the alarm was going off and everything. But you were just like, you know, you're like, yeah, this is like every other time when they say you look on the TV and it looks terrible, but when you walk outside, it's not. Well, this time it is.
Yeah, it is terrible. And so I just want to say thank you again for letting me lay it off my chest, okay? And because I really did this, really didn't need this place to get it off my chest, and all those emotions and feelings that kind of like got into me in the last few days. I told you I was so minimal with my information gathering, and I'm sure that there is like lots of other information that I could share with you, but it would also like result with much more pain for me to deal with. So I'm I'm sorry that I wasn't able to share, but it's kind of like
I'm
this
right
is
there
what I
with you, dude. I don't think I'd be able to either. You
yeah
know, in the same
yeah
situation, I don't think I'd be able to either. So
yeah. I don't think that you or your viewers were able to bear another like 10, 15 minutes of people that I'm showing over there that were killed or kidnapped or all those stories. I think it's like
there will be a time. There will be
yeah,
a time to
there will
do
be
that. It
yeah,
might be a little bit too close to
of
because
course
there's too much. There's too much that's still unknown.
yeah.
So that it's a lot of fear that's involved at the moment when imagining what's going on. So there will be a time that we can do that, and we absolutely should. Once you know the fate of everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, TW.
So I do want to switch over to the other side of I don't know the discussion about what's going on in Israel in the last few days. And usually, when I'm going on in your shows, you have this saying, "Hey, Nir, tell us what's going on in Israel."
Israel.
And I'm very happy to do so. But today, before I will do that, I will point the separation, okay, that we need before we're starting this discussion about Israel and about it goes down also like for any other nation country separation of like definitions, all right? When I'm like talking now about certain situations of things, so that people will know what I'm talking about within this concept of Israel or any other country that we're talking now. So once we will split it up into these three factors that construct what this country, okay, is three things. First of all, it's the land itself, okay, the actual soil, the geographic location, and where it's located and considered located by everyone, right? Second, the people of Israel, okay, the people of Israel, the actual civilians that are living over here, which are which I'm among them, and it doesn't matter which kind of like religious belief they are holding and which kind of
No,
I
you're all
know,
people with blood pumping
yeah,
inside. Every single one of them is a person, is a unique individual with their own life and
yeah,
their own experience of reality. They're absolutely no different to you or I in that respect. It's just they're having their experience.
yeah. Those are the civilians. Those are the people that construct the population of this country.
The real people.
Yeah, yeah.
The real people, as in the ones who are just getting on with their lives and doing their best to
No,
bring.
forget it. I'm talking about only about the humans which are located in this territory of the land of Israel that we kind of like defined before. Okay, yeah, just about this. This is the people of Israel, okay, who are living inside these territories. Now, the third aspect is the state, okay, the state of Israel, and the state of Israel is we're talking about all the institutes and all the and actually the corporation, okay, that activates and give services to the civilians.
Should
And
we are we going to mention the fact that in the scriptures God actually said that there will not Israel will never be a state again?
we're gonna get down to the spiritual side of things pretty quickly, Rich. But soon we'll get to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get down with the introduction basics first. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we understood those three factors, right? Land, people, and state,
And
right?
state. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now, when I'm gonna review this, what's going on over here, I'm gonna signify, of course, what I'm talking about out of these three factors. Okay. So let's begin with the land itself. What happened down was that this land was invaded from the southern border of Gaza Strip at 6:30 a.m. On a Saturday morning. Like I said, it was also the day of Simchat Torah, the second holiday of Sukkot. And as I reported to you on your show over there, when we started off, it was only like what I gathered out of it was the missile attack, like the sirens are reporting about the missile attacks. And I heard all those fire domes explosions in the air that we also like discussed about them like in previous shows about the fakery, the insignificance, and kind of like the purpose of that they were made of, which is not to defend the Israeli people, rather than to create panic and chaos and anxiety with the civilians, which uh, need to, of course, to understand and believe in all their heart that we are like in a war situation right now, and this is serious. Okay.
And yeah, it's to help maintain that perception that you are always kind of in a state of war, and there's always a danger.
Yeah.
There could potentially, it might be peaceful now, but the sirens could go off any minute.
Yeah, more or less like controlling your panic mode, okay,
Yeah,
your panic
your fear.
level, okay.
Yeah, your fight or flight, basically controlling your fight or flight.
Yeah, because once those sirens are getting on and once those explosions of the Iron Dome are being heard in the air, it's threatening. It doesn't matter how much badass you are. It's
No, I defy anybody. I defy anybody in that situation when suddenly explosions are going off overhead. You've got shrapnel falling down from exploded missiles, and you don't know where any of it's coming from. All you can hear is gunfire and explosions. That it's going to be a terrifying situation, no matter how fucking tough you think you are.
yeah. And I'm considering myself pretty tough because I'm kind of like aware of this fakery. So usually when they have those sirens and booms in the air, I go to the window and start shooting off pictures, and
Dude,
when where they're
if
saying
you if you go outside, you'll recognise when if you hear gunshots and then you hear lead hitting concrete and ricocheting off, you'll know that that's real. Whether it's a fake situation, it's not fake. They're not fake bullets, and they're not fake explosions.
yeah, and also like
It's the premise behind it that's fake.
those Iron Dome missiles, once they're like exploding in the air and doesn't do anything, they fall down.
Yeah.
All the leftovers over cars
Right,
and
it doesn't do anything up there. It doesn't do anything up. Maybe they didn't even hit a missile. Maybe they're just set to bloody explode to look like they've hit a missile or something.
yeah,
But it does have consequences. There are
yeah,
real life consequences because of the shrapnel that falls down from however high, a couple of 100 meters up in the air, and bits of steel, and falling down. It's going to potentially cause damage to people and property.
mhm, yeah,
Random. unpredictable, random. It's
Yeah.
gonna. So
So
like you
I'll tell you a
said,
lot. My girlfriend, she stayed over here last 2 nights because like in her neighborhood, she lives like a couple of streets away from me, and like in her neighborhood, all those leftovers of those Iron Dome missiles, they landed over the power lines, and it cut off the electricity for like 2 days. So so she and her daughter came over to sleep over at my place. And it was good. It was nice. We had a good, camp on the war thing. It was nice. Um, and yeah, so this is how it started off for me. Enough with talking about the Iron Dome thing. It's I know, stupid to talk about it. Okay, it's regarding the other thing that happened. Um, about so when I saw those Iron Dome things and sirens, so I got over to your show and got the reports, and then when I'm talking about the land, it was like invaded. Okay, during simultaneously while doing these missile attacks, simultaneously they broke the fence, which is located on between Gaza Strip and the Israeli border. And uh, from the pictures, I told you I'm very minimal with knowledge about pictures and what's actually happened and how it's been done and everything. But but I saw some kind of like a tractor move over the fence over there, and then everybody could pass by with their trucks and vehicles and everything. And the thing is that whoever like switched over to the Israeli side, it wasn't like only Hamas members, okay? It wasn't only like uh, those ones who are armed like soldiers and everything of Hamas. They were lots and lots of civilians that do this did this invasion. Now and then afterwards, when they after the invasion, I told you about the incidents of this nature party that they just got into. They walked like a few hundred meters, and they were like in the middle of this nature party, and and by doing and I don't know, kind of like split it up, I guess, to all kinds of groups, which those groups immediately got into the hearts of Israeli cities and all kinds of villages nearby the border of Gaza Strip, and especially like the city of Sderot got lots of people killed in there, and had a really big invasion of those Hamas people, and they had like fights. Now the thing is that once they got invaded, it was known about it in the news. So they actually the civilians themselves, okay, they called the news channel, okay, to report what is going on with them, and the news channel alerted the army to start doing something, okay, to take care of this, okay. Now and this thing for me personally, once I was seeing the rockets and then saw this invasion thing, okay, this is the moment that I told myself, okay, Nir, uh, you know that you are a conspiracy theorist, okay? You know that you are kind of sometimes rush to jump into conclusions, okay? But in that moment, I told myself, let me recruit my knowledge from the time that was in the army, in the intelligence army, and I'm aware and still remember, okay, it was 25 years ago, but I still remember, the place and the abilities and the way that the army worked, the intelligence corps worked in his routine, okay, and what the sentence that just landed on my head, and I immediately I wrote it down in the WhatsApp group of my family, and I told you also like the sentence over over the broadcast is that no chance on this flat Earth that this kind of like invasion will happen between Gaza Strip and Israel.
Which is exactly what Jason says. Jason Shirker says as well in his video. He says like anybody who thinks that this is even possible, like basically check yourself. This shit doesn't just this couldn't happen unless it was allowed to happen. They allowed it to happen. They knew it was going to happen, and they allowed it to happen.
Yeah, I think they should have taken lots and lots of efforts, okay, from the intelligence side to ignore, okay, all the signs that were like popping in, and I will try
What
share and to I don't know to hide as much information that is possible on this one, okay? But I will tell you, okay, that the Israeli intelligence is well connected to all the cell phones and all the houses and all the infrastructure, okay?
Big Brother's been listening for a long time in Israel, so nothing goes unheard.
Of all the major commanders of Hamas, okay?
They all have they all let everybody know what was going on their Telegram accounts and shit.
Come on, it's like we have this saying, okay, that Ahmed can't lay a fart without the intelligence knowing about it, okay?
Yeah.
It's like I'm telling you, it's a very, very hard job to ignore it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
To ignore it. Like if I was like, the thing is that I personally didn't serve on doing the job in front of the Palestinian border. I did it somewhere else. But I know the routine of work, and I know that the amount of information that they're gathering, and all of those informations that they're gathering, they teach you in the intelligence how to interpret it, okay, and how to which kind of like if they're saying something, what did that means, okay, and the other thing that they are telling you when you are getting into the intelligence corp is that we had something 50 years ago, which we did a big fuck up 50 years ago, okay? 50 years ago, before the Yom Kippur War, there were like lots and lots of like signs that that those armies are approaching the fence and about to attack Israel. But it's what we call in Israel the conception. The conception was that that those Arabs, they won't dare to attack us and to get into our borders. Okay, they're too afraid from us. We are like after the 6-day war in Israel in '67. We are very strong and mighty, and we conquered territories. So they won't get it into here. Okay, and this is what the intelligence said back then, 50 years ago. Okay, so and this is known to be the biggest fuck up ever. Okay, ever. Now,
Exactly the same.
now, yeah, coincidence, and once you like getting into the the intelligence corps and you start doing this training, there's not a single day that passes by without like the sentence that we won't have another Yom Kippur war to the intelligence corp. Okay, and I tell you what, it's because I kind of like I know the intelligence corp, and kind of like it's 25 years afterwards. I know the intelligence corp, like back 25 years ago with their technology. Okay, I can't like imagine now what kind of like technology has at this moment, like 25 years ago. Okay,
Oh god, all the drones and the fucking
Yeah, everything. I don't know. Okay, I'm telling you, I left the army 25 years ago, and I'm not like truly eager to update what kind of like new technology they have, but I presume if they're not like working like NASA or something like that, I presume that they have better technology right now. Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, so
Well, we have, so you can bet your bottom dollar that they have. They got it before we did.
yeah. So yeah, we are so about like so I can't I, I I can't imagine how hard it was to stop the information inflow of the things that are like that are pointing for this operation to happen without the Israeli intelligence to report it about it. Okay,
אחים
because what's
ואחיות,
going
יקרים
on if you know
ויקרות,
like
אנחנו
you get some kind of like information somehow in the intelligence, you report it forward to the field units and everything that they will use this information for their battle needs, and the information not existed. Okay, and all there were like all kinds of like outposts like around the Gaza Strip, and all of them were deserted from some reason or really unprotected, so that they took over all kinds of
They took over
bases.
one of the bases, didn't they, for a
Yeah,
short
they took
time?
several bases over there. Yeah, and I don't know if they killed or kidnapped or whatever the soldiers over there.
What I want to know is where these soldiers got their training, because they've been trained to perform manoeuvres that the IDF certainly didn't think that they were, that they had the knowledge base to
Oh,
perform the manoeuvres that they've performed, because they've
yeah,
outwitted.
I will switch with you now, like more to the physical side, and not for like the intelligence side
As
of
in the
it.
weapons that they're using, the technology and the weapons that they're using. Is that what you mean?
No. Like once there was like the invasion, and so everybody now popping up in the social networks and everything. Okay, what I said to you earlier about the intelligence was my perspective as an intelligence veteran. But like what I'm seeing nowadays over on Facebook, tons and tons of people which are coming over there and telling you, yeah, I served over there in those bases, okay, around Gaza Strip, and I know that every time that a flea got over to like a kilometer next to the fence, they would pop
Yeah,
up everyone in a
within
minute.
within a kilometer of the fence, not
Yeah.
over the fence, not through the fence, within a
No.
kilometer of it.
No, like it's like a flea went by, all the army pops up on their gear, ready to go.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and and like and they're telling now on the news, okay, or like over there, the people that were like in those settlements and everything, they're telling that the army took just to react, okay, to start reacting to this whole event. It took something like 5 hours.
Yeah. And it
Five
could,
hours until the first shot was shot by the IDF. Okay.
right. And this is the point. They've got a response. They've got a fighter response that could put fighters from one side of the country to the other in a matter of minutes, and
Yeah.
yet it took them 5 hours to respond.
Yeah, and also like there's supposed to be lots of like bases which are like surrounding those settlements and the border of Gaza and everything. There were like lots of soldiers there, but then it took them 5 hours. While in those 5 hours, they massacred people and captured people and got back and forward from Israel to Gaza Strip. Okay, and
I mean, if anybody seriously, if anybody sat there thinking that's because Israel was caught off guard and they didn't really hear what was going on for 5 hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're living in La La Land. Like somebody needs to give you a damn good fucking slap because they were sat there watching it. They probably had. It was probably in the plan. Right, like the invasion has started in 5 hours' time. We will respond. Let them get in, cause some havoc, wreak some terror, catch some hostages so that they've got bargaining chips, and um, and then we'll respond.
Yeah. So the army kind of like started to respond after longer than they should have, and and then he started taking over all the different events in different villages and towns and everything, and it took all day. Okay, it took all day. Lots of also like casualties from the IDF and those the terrorists or whoever invaded. Uh, till this moment, there's like still like rumors going around about those guys managed to escape somehow and they're like hiding in the cities and whatever. But altogether, it's been reported that everything like in the cities and the villages has been settled down to normal. There's still like lots of like polices and
Mm.
military inside those towns to still like searching and make I don't know the families over there feel secure. But yeah, it's like regarding this event of invasion, I think it's pretty much like over. And with with the missiles, the thing is that the couple of like I think that also like when I started off the broadcast with you on Saturday, it's kind of like slowed down. It was like really heavy rain at the beginning of it, and then like it's kind of like slowed down after a few hours, and overnight time, like on Saturday and yesterday, there were like sirens and fires as well. Um, but and altogether now, with the physical level of the land and territories and everything, the war is going to switch over on the next few days over to the Palestinian side, and I can't the way that I kind of like I did got a glimpse like for something like half a minute like in the mainstream media and both the right and the left mainstream media, okay, that we got in Israel. Both ways, they're like, of course, bringing the older army interpreters over there, and all of them are like with this murder look on their face, and yeah, flatting Asa down. Yeah, this is what we should do right now.
Oh, the
And
Warhawks are loving this. The Warhawks are like they're salivating.
mm,
They're fucking salivating. All the money that's going to be made from the missiles that are going to be launched and the bombs that are going to be dropped.
exactly.
This is it like ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. They're all fucking having wet dreams and playing with themselves about it. And
Mhm.
they're the ones that are orchestrating it. They're the one. Well, they're funding it. They're allowed. They're because they're gonna end up making so much money out of it. They're invested in the.
I'll tell you what, okay? If we get back to the trio that I mentioned earlier about
Yeah,
the
the
land,
state.
people, and state,
Yeah,
okay? So
yeah.
I think that about the people I spoke of in the first part of the show, okay? Regarding the land of and what is happened with the land, I pretty much explained to you right now. With the state, okay, the third part of it, this is and this got me connected to those army interpreters and all of that. So if you're getting up this morning, Richie, and you're asking me near how's the state of Israel doing, okay, I'll tell you, oh, let me check out the numbers over here. I think she's doing great. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stocks are up now. Why is that? Because Israel, like any other country, is a financial corporation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once you have like
It's not a nation. Everybody needs to get this out of their heads. It's not nations don't exist anymore. Only corporations exist now.
yeah, it's a
It's all been
corporation. It
corporatized.
has a flag. Okay, it's a
Yeah.
corporation with a flag, with I don't know, with a currency, with language, whatever. Yeah, but it's a corporation, and while people are in the state of emergency or war of any kind, okay, in corporations like that, the ones who are benefiting from each crisis like that are the people who are in the elite, and the ones who are like in charge of all the big mechanism like politics, media, army, security, medical. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And those ones are, of course, those are the major fields of, occupation and industries, the things that operates the economy. And while there's like crisis, those people are making profit. Okay, if it's like the politicians, they get a lot more screen time. Okay, and they can tell everybody are gonna take care of this crisis and to turn out like the big heroes and whatever. It's usually like in times like this, okay, it's there are like people who are looking at let's say Bibi Netanyahu or something like that, and they're the ones who are like his fans or whatever are looking at them and telling, oh, this poor guy, now he needs all this mess over his head, he needs to take care of this. Feeling sorry for him, yeah, and it's so ironic. Okay, now and the state itself, okay, as I told you, it gains a lot out of it, and this is what's the main reasons. One of the main reasons that we keep having this conflict over here in the Holy Land more than 100 years. Okay, it's all circles around this thing over here that not all, okay, I'm going to explain soon what else, okay, but most of it is circles around the need for us to have this constant war over here in order that all those industries, okay, will remain important. Okay, if it's like politics, okay, politics
Because
supposed to be
they
like
don't.
important, right?
Because let's face it, what does Israel export?
Sorry.
What are Israel's three major exports?
Oh, exports.
Yeah.
Oh, it's high-tech industry, of course.
Yeah, high tech industry doing what? What's the high tech industry
Oh,
concentrated
of
in?
course. Yeah, it's also like goes hand in hand with the security industry,
Yeah.
of course.
So it's military industrial complex.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
that's their exportation. That's all they do, really. That's all they offer to the world is a
Yeah,
military industrial,
yeah, yeah.
like technology and weapons for the military industrial complex, and that was all designed, right, back in the, I think like the 80s and the 90s when they were saying they wanted Israel to become self-sufficient, or maybe early 2000s. Like the whole idea was for Israel to become self-sufficient as far as military aid is concerned. It's turned into a major exporter of weapons,
Yeah.
and also funding. They provide money to other places. They've been giving weapons and money to the fucking Azov battalion in Ukraine. I don't know like how long they were doing it, but they did do it.
Listen, like the thing is that regarding Israel, okay, Israel, if you said it's like corporation, is I'm not sure of the word subsidiary, like it's the sub company, okay, the sub company of like the bigger company, right, which is of course United States
Subcontractor.
government. Yeah, it's contractor.
Subcontractor.
Contractor over here in this piece of land to operate it, okay, and yeah, and as I said, like if incidents like on Saturday happens, okay, so everyone who are like on those top of those industries has job to do, and out of this job, probably he receives money, okay, and but Rich, I said earlier that if it was like the motive of those people, okay, to still keep having, you know, those crises and this war for more than 100 years, okay, um, I would tell you, like, you know what, before this event, okay, I will tell you that it was sufficient, okay, like I will tell you that, yeah, they want to keep their jobs, so they want so they what they do, they penetrate, they engineer all kinds of like wars, and this is how they keep in their jobs, and yeah, makes sense, okay. But once I saw the absolute cruelty, the absolute humanless crimes,
Well,
horrible
the
things
sort
that
of
I
crimes
saw,
that sociopaths and psychopaths are capable of
I
committing because they
saw
have
over
no.
the last few days, Rich, okay,
Mm.
I can't imagine that someone that was like aware of the thing that is going to happen, is like responsible for some of it, okay, would do that for those cause, from those reasons of like occupying his job, okay. I really do think that there is higher reason for them to do so. And
Dude, they right.
okay,
They
now,
are listen. They are sociopaths. They are programmed, brainwashed, hypnotized sociopaths. They're young lads that have been completely fucking brainwashed. Like if you, they've been turned into sociopaths so that they're capable of committing atrocities. Right? You can say that it's Satan, and you can say it's the devil, it's demons, and all of that. But we are. Every one of us has got it inside us, right? And you can either choose to be on or not to be. You choose the light or the dark. These lads have chosen the dark. Now, whatever it is that's inspired that, it is a spirit that's inspired that,
hmm,
and we
yeah,
can call that a satanic spirit
yeah,
because it's lacking in any love at all. It has no love. It hates life. It hates love. It hates happiness. It hates all the things that make us human. Yeah, you know,
yeah.
and so it manipulates and basically puppeteers those individuals on this earth that have either relinquished or were never born with or have sold their soul.
Hmm, yeah. Uh, Listen, so this is why, okay, I'm like, I do think, and maybe it's like opposing your perception, Rich, but I do think that the reason that they did what they did, if all my, you know, conspiracy theory is sadly for me correct, okay, and all you know that I'm claiming over here against the people that initiated and planned and overlooked the atrocities that we saw on the last few days. If all this is true and correct, Rich, so my conclusion out of all of this is that, you know, regarding the cruelty that I saw, that these are not human beings, okay? These are not human beings.
They're
These
soulless.
are soulless,
That's what
totally soulless. And I'm not talking about terrorists. I'm not talking about the terrorists, and I'm not talking about the people who are like now you're gonna see in the clips who are like capturing the poor people, and I'm not talking about them. Okay,
no, no.
I'm I'm talking about their leaders and the leaders of the Israeli state.
They're psychopaths. They are
Yeah,
psychopaths. They're more than sociopaths. They're
mhm,
psychopaths.
yeah,
So, they don't have
They
any
are
emotion.
they are well connected. Okay, they are well connected in some level with this evil entity itself. Now, this for this entity to be satisfied, what satisfies him is his ultimate rivalry with God. Okay, he's not done with the rivalry
Right.
of God. Now,
Listen.
Richie, I don't want you to stop me on this point, okay? Okay, because like I'm giving my perspective,
Yeah.
and I don't want your stipulations and like
Go on. Carry on. Carry on.
all right, Rich.
I said carry on, Ned.
Karen,
Carry on.
Karen. Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Um, and I do think that this entity, whatever you want to call it, okay, is one who stands in front of God and the one who has his biggest rivalry throughout all the generations, and and now he kind of like, of course, is using our false politics and using our false and our belief to those politicians in order for him to hurt the God's greatest creation, which is the humankind. And I don't know if how it goes rolls down with the calendar and their amounts of blood that they should serve to this entity until it will be satisfied. But they have to make their portion, and that gives them, I don't know, rich and wealth and acknowledgement in this life. Okay, but the real war, the real war of any person regarding, you know, who is and what is, okay, not related to this conflict at all. The war is whether or not to tempt to these offers that Satan is giving you, okay, in all directions, okay, and secure yourself in not on this life, but on the life afterwards, okay, that you'll be with the entity that you want to be in, the one that you are trusted and believed all your life. And this the acknowledgement that we are talking about the spiritual war is an acknowledgement that I'm holding on for the last few years, and over the last few days it's got strength tremendously. Okay, it's like I saw it with my own eyes how this whole thing is a spiritual war. And this and once I got it, it's like a spiritual war. So I understood a few things. First of all, that it's um, it's a war that I can't win. Okay, sorry. If I said
Delete.
delete. Yeah. Need to set up my thoughts for a second. Um, Once I saw it, it was like a spiritual war. From the one side, I understood that I can't understood the cruelty. Okay, that this cruelty is about way beyond me. Okay, and I can't.
You're not here. You're not. Your mission on this earth is not to stop what's happening.
Yeah,
It's to
yeah,
witness. It's to
exactly.
witness.
And for some from in some aspect it explained it to me. Okay, the actual acknowledgement that this is a spiritual war, it helped me to understand that yeah, in a spiritual war they can make those kind of like atrocities, they can make this kind of like cruelty. Okay, this is how it looks like. And on the
And
physical level,
don't
on
forget
the
that
physical level, all right, okay, on this.
whatever's happening on that scale, on that end of the scale, the atrocities that are happening on that end of the scale, what is absolutely happening, but people aren't talking about because they're all focused on the atrocities, is that things that are equally as good, like on the opposite side, beautiful, amazing, wonderful things are happening. You know,
Yeah. I
it,
told you that on the physical level, okay, it looks horrible. All right. Okay. The actual reflection of this spiritual war that I mentioned uh, on the earth, on the ground, okay, it's been reflected as it was, okay, as it was on the last few days. This is how a major spiritual war looks like on the ground, okay.
yeah,
Now,
manifest into reality. That's what it looks like.
yeah,
Manifest into
yeah,
reality.
yeah. But
This is
on the
how it
spiritual
presents
level,
itself.
yeah, but on the spiritual level, which is going on the same time, it's the war. Uh, First of all, the war is being used with other weapons, okay, and with other entities than humans, and um, and on this level and on this realm, I personally, near Shoshani from ESH News, I I feel more comfortable and secure, and I know with the right skills to fight, right? Uh, because I know that the spiritual world is it's this is a place that I can affect. I know that if I will try to bump into the institution and the state of Israel with my physical force, I will lose. I will lose quickly, okay? And mightily I will lose because they have more strength than me. They have more weapons than me. They have more, they have police and armies and whatever. So I'm start transferring myself. This is what I'm doing for the last years or so, okay? And maybe I wasn't like aware of that till this point, but I'm totally like moving myself through fighting on the spiritual level because this is the place that I think that I can make more effect with values which are like values that you and me, Richie, we do share. Okay, values of communication, love, information, cheerful, happiness. Um, I know open space, right?
Dude, we basically feel the same way. We don't agree 100% on the source of it all, but we
Yeah,
agree on the principles.
yeah. Um, and I do think that, and again, I'm coming back to the people of Israel in the triangle. The people of Israel, what I got this morning, yesterday, whatever, when I talk to people, it's the actual sense of complete helplessness. Okay, of complete any kind of like lacking of solution, things to do, a way to resolve this thing for you as like a person. You are like in this situation, and you don't know what to do because first off, what is like really uh, obvious in this conflict that with the sheeple, with the major amount of people which were like asleep till this point, and they ate all the Miley Cyrus thing, and they ate all the afterwards the legislation crisis that we had over here, and so I really do think that some of them do wake up, okay, do wake up to this lie because it's the same thing. It's the
Bro,
same thing.
I maintain that there are people walking around that to look at them, they're part of the groups that are completely asleep. They're chanting the same things. They're making all the same moves as the people that are asleep, the sheeple, but they are awake. They're just too frightened. They're
Yeah.
too frightened to step away from the group.
Yeah, and of course, like nowadays, like when I'm talking to my parents, and I know. Mainly for my with my parents, I'm kind of like try to present to them this, conspiracy that I told them like 1,000 times before this incident. Okay, and uh, it went down. With reminding them the Miley Cyrus times and the legislation crisis times and whatever. That every time I told them, those guys in government, they are not your friends, they are your enemies. And
And
also,
right, this whole left, right. You
yeah,
said it, dude. You said it. I said it. Jason Shirker is basically saying it, and what he's saying, right? It's not about Palestinian versus Jew. It's not
no,
about left versus right. It's not about Trump versus Biden. It's not. No, none of that. It's about us
about,
versus them.
yeah, it's about you guys being attacked by them for years and years and years and not noticing that, not noticing
Not
that, doing
realizing
that.
we've been at war with our government ever since
Yeah,
you were born. For as long as you've been alive, as long
yeah,
as your parents were alive, and as long as their parents were alive,
yeah.
we've been at war with government, with the people, with the
Yeah.
men, the psychopaths that are trying to determine our lives for
and
us.
and like killing us generation after generation
Yep.
with all kinds of like excuses,
Yep.
okay,
Yeah,
with
and then
excuses
blaming
with
it on
no
us,
limit.
blaming it on the people, saying
Yeah,
it's the people that are doing it, but and it's not. Yeah, and
yeah.
projecting everything that they're doing onto the people that they want to be destroyed. They project everything that they're doing on a they pick a scapegoat kind of thing.
No, it's like it's all the excuse is always being drawn to the our ultimate term of
Mm.
coincidence. Okay, it's all been drawn. Oh, so bad. Oh, we have to live over here. We don't have anywhere else to live. We got like so many Arabs around us. Guess we have to fight all day. Okay,
I,
and
I just wanna remind everybody of the wise words of Christopher Hitchens.
How do I know that I know this, except that I've always been taught this and never heard anything else? It's always worth establishing first principles. It's always worth saying, what would you do if you met a Flat Earth Society member? Come to think of it, how can I prove the Earth is round? Am I sure about the theory of evolution? I know it's supposed to be true. Here's someone who says there's no such thing, it's all intelligent design. How sure am I of my own views? Don't take refuge in the false security of consensus and the feeling that whatever you think, you're bound to be okay because you're in the safely moral majority.
Everybody needs to think very, very hard about how they think they know what they know. How did you learn and become? How do you know what you think you know? How much of it was fed to us? How much of it has been, we've gleaned through all the information and used our own discernment to determine the the motives or the intentions or whatever behind what's going on. We're always using second-hand information. In fact, it's not just second-hand; it's third-hand, fourth-hand, fifth-hand information. It's worse than hearsay. Most of the info that we get. So, like Christopher Hitchens, he would probably back then when he gave that talk, he was probably somebody that would laugh at a flat earther, but actually what he said there, what would you? For one thing, the Flat Earth Society is the shill group. It was infiltrated early on, and they're there to discredit real globe deniers. That's the reason that they exist. So the fact that we'll just ignore the fact that he used the Flat Earth Society. It's interesting that he used the Flat Earth Society as an example because they are shills. They're gatekeepers. But what he said, what would you do if you met a Flat Earth Society member? Come to think of it, how do you know that the Earth is a globe? And how did you prove it? And so, like I said yesterday, anyone with integrity that looks into it can come away and say, well, the government lie, NASA lie. So and the observations seem to indicate that they're lying because the model that they've given us doesn't work. We can't actually prove we're on a globe. Nobody can prove that we're on a globe because there aren't any real photographs to prove it. And the maths doesn't work out when it comes to curvature and stuff like that. The maths just does not fucking work out. It doesn't correlate with the observations. So
Rich.
when you do ask the question, when people ask the question, they find that actually the information that they've got is always questionable.
Yeah. Rich?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. All right. I was like telling earlier about the spiritual war that I think is going on over here, and what I started saying earlier that if the reasons were like physicals for those elites, okay, to keep doing this war and keep fooling the people and everything. If there were like physical reasons like money, fame, acknowledgement, whatever, I wouldn't like. I would like understand it, okay. But once in the last few days when I saw the cruelty and the things that happened, I didn't understood that this is a spiritual war. And once I understood that, as you said, it led to two different conclusions. Okay, on the bad side, it made me understand that this is a cruelty that I could never understand. Okay, and and that's on the physical side.
Thank God
But
for that, because you'd have to be a psycho to be able to.
yeah, seriously. And on the spiritual level, okay, beside what I stated earlier, that what I'm doing, out of the field that I like to be in is the spiritual field, which contain all kinds of values and things that I mentioned earlier, okay, which I feel with them more comfortable. And besides that, and this is what I'm telling people right now, and I think it's very important. When people are coming to me and telling me that they're feeling hopeless and feeling that there is nothing to do and feeling that there is no hope, I'm telling them, okay, that the most powerful weapon that we possess, uh, that is a mighty and infinite weapon, okay, is the power of creation. That's the weapon that God gave us as human beings, to be able to create and be able to bring things out of the non-existing world into the existence world. And he did that on the sixth day, according to the story. And I think that by doing that, he gave us his best quality, his best characteristic, that this is what he's known of. And for me personally, once I understood that, I took this mission on my life to be creative, try to be creative each and every day, because I know that this is the weapon and this is the thing that they are the other side, Satan, yes, and their adversaries. This is the weapon that they are most afraid of. This is the godly weapon that they are most terrified of, because they can create shit. They do things horribly. They know mainly how to destroy. They don't know how to create something beautiful and aesthetic and something that brings love to people. So they envy God for that, and they envy those entities. They envy the human beings for that. And so, anyone ask me what can we do? Feeling hopeless, like feeling nowhere to go. I'm telling them, start creating something. Okay, whatever. You got tons of skills. I'm sure you could write or draw or sculpture or I don't know, do a news show, okay, online or whatever, okay. The minute that you're doing that out of the respect to the creation itself, and you did this thing, you did a tremendous thing, you did awesome thing, okay? And it doesn't need to be, of course, rewarded with money or fame or, acknowledgement or likes or whatever, okay? If it's something that you do reach to be awarded for it, okay, with those things I mentioned, this is not a creation. It's a job, okay? If you're doing creation out of the respect to its own creation, and you you sacrifice, you not you make it holy, okay, as your weapon, as you will go to your battle, okay, you will clean your sword, you will dent it with oil or something like that, right? So if this is your weapon, your creation, then give it a good treat and try it out. And this is what I'm telling the other people right now, okay? Of course, forget or don't forget or mourn a little bit about what's going on right now, okay? But leave it alone for a second, okay? This is just what they want you to do. What you need to do is getting started for battle and started creating. And it doesn't matter when it's like, not related to this conflict, whatever. It's kind of like everything that you're creating is put you on the side of God, put you on the side of you accepting God's weapon, okay, the one that He gave you. And if you are creating, you are like strengthening His side on this spiritual war that we mentioned. So this is the message that I've got for dear people in the chat room, of course. For you, Rich, I don't need to give you this message because I think that you are like perform it in your everyday life, and this is one of the reasons that I'm really proud that you're my friend. And this concept of creation is so important at this time. And
I think Mr. Super Sidewinder actually has a good point about creation in the sense that actually, because there's nothing new under the sun, we're not creating anything. We're only recreating what has already been created by the creator. When we have babies, all we're doing is setting in motion the process, the program that was put in place by the creator. That the sperm goes into the egg, and and a baby is born and grows up. But we didn't design the human body.
okay,
We didn't design how that worked. We learned how it worked afterwards. It had already been done.
I'll tell you what. Okay, this thing is it's a concept that I have pretty much a strong opinion about it. Okay, they try to fool you. Okay, with what you told you right now regarding art and culture. Okay, because there were like a few phases, eras in the cultural world, and there was the modern age, okay, which was around like between forget the official narrative, Rich, okay, don't catch me on the official narrative of the years, okay, but like somewhere like around the 1900s, the mid 1900s till the mid 20th century. This is like the modern age with all the technology advance, and then afterwards the concept over there in the modern age was like to try and find in art all kinds of like things that are not existed. Okay, trying to find things which are new, okay? New perception, new points of looks and everything. And afterwards came the postmodern era, okay, with culture, which was led, first off, the most known one is, of course, Andy Warhol, okay, with promoting it. And he deteriorated like the art to the level of the street, okay, like to a very low level with his, can printings and Marilyn Monroe shots and all kinds of things, which kind of like told you, okay, which is kind of like copied. He said he did like copies of his art in all kinds of like different, different shapes, different colors, and things like that. And by doing that, he said, or like all the postmodernism said, he said, we got nothing to create anymore. All the things that could have been thought of like being created out of like new, okay, out of like nothing, were already been thought of in the time of the modern era, okay? What we have to do now is, in order to create the aesthetics, okay, is to start combining, okay? Start to, first of all, to deteriorate the art to a lower level, okay, to a lower use, and to start combining the art between different kinds of like all kinds of like things which are not related to each other. And by doing that, you create some kind of like interpretation, okay? Now, but this whole setting point, the starting point of all of this, okay, of saying, no, we got nothing new to create, this is bullshit, okay? This is bullshit. Because there are lots and lots of people in the world, Rich, and each and every one of us can bring with his spirit something new and to create something new. Yes, it's out of the existing materials that we have in this world, but once the creation is being completed, it's not the same as the materials that were there before, right? They are like the materials are now being constructed along with the spirit of the person who created it. And so when God finished off creating this world, he left us with all this existing thing that we can create off. And this is our job to start creating physically in this world. It could be like not a physical creation. It could be like also a spiritual creation, but we need to start creating. And with his physical work, I think that is done. And I think that now, this is my personal thoughts, is that God is more occupied right now in creating the plot, okay? Created the plot of all he created. He created first all the things, and then let's see what to do with them, okay? And this is the actions, the things, the events that we are actually witnessing in our everyday life. This is God's acting and creating our current reality, and with the materials that he brought over and created over the first 6 days of creation. And yeah, and I think that would be very stupid, Rich, if you're not going to use them, right?
Say that again, dude. Sorry, I was just responding in the comments to
Yeah, I said that God brought all those materials, okay, over here in those 6 days of creation, and we will be stupid if we're not going to use them.
I think dude, this is kind of fundamental. It's really, really important that in my perception of what's going on, right? You don't agree with me, but in my perception of what's going on, the spiritual battle is something that's taking place within each one of us, right? And then it's manifesting itself out into the physical reality because we are the co-creators of reality here. What we say, what we do, what we write, what we agree to is what happens. And some people are doing it consciously and some people are doing it unconsciously. The people doing it unconsciously are the ones buying into the narrative. And that doesn't matter what narrative it is. The narratives have been going for as long as we have. And they began with the religious doctrines, with the scriptures, with the interpretations of the scriptures. The interpretations in the language with the people that actually spoke the language that those scriptures were written in, and then further on, later on down the line, the interpretations into all different languages and all different versions of the same scriptures, all giving different interpretations that all lead to the same 3 different stories that, all right, maybe not Islam, because Islam's got its own book, but the Torah and the Old Testament are basically the same book. Or at least the Old Testament is based on the fucking Torah. So what we've got is the very first original black and white, black versus white, left versus right, Hegelian dialectic, create a problem, create division, create 2 sides, and then control both of them. Because you keep the people in a state of disarray, panic, fear, and confusion, whilst you reap the benefits. And that's what they've been doing for as long as any of us can fucking remember, or any of our ancestors can remember, probably maybe as far back as 2,000 years. We don't know, because they're lying about time. They're lying about time, they're lying about calendars, they're lying about dates, they're lying about they're lying about fucking everything. And it all comes from, the root that it comes from is fucking religion. Because that was the first mind control that they had.
Yeah. And
so hang on. So putting it into a God versus Satan paradigm is buying into a narrative that has been set. Instead of taking control of your reality, which God wants you to do, God wants you to take control of reality and be the authority that you were intended to be on this earth with his permission. The ones without bodies have no authority. The ones without souls have no authority. The ones incarnate on this earth with a body and a soul and a conscience and a mind of their own are the ones with the authority. We're the ones that get to say what fucking happens. And we're all tacitly agreeing with things without even realizing it. We're buying into realities without even realizing it, because they are so deeply ingrained, woven into our fucking DNA, because it's been generations that they've been weaving this web of lies.
Okay, Rich. I want to continue on. If you mentioned this web of lies, I told you earlier in the broadcast that I kind of like shutted myself down from the Israeli media and from all the WhatsApp groups and videos and everything, and also like told my kids to do so, and my ex-wife, and everyone around me. I'm trying to tell them to stay away from that, from all the obvious reasons I mentioned earlier. And the reason is also, of course, those reasons, but I'm telling them that there's another reason that they shouldn't like turn on the television and the mainstream channels. Okay, it's because first of all, we need to do the separation between um, like what they are reporting with the numbers and statistics and what that they report, the events that happened. Okay, all of these, I'm not questioning them. I'm not I'm not starting even to start research. Okay, if they're like blowing up the numbers or whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, it does matter, but it's like, it's not the thing that I'm like willing and want to do at this moment. But I'm telling people not to open up the television because of of the false narrative that they project over there. And that gets you to the, I think, the thing that you wanted to talk on the beginning of the show. Because what they're going to show you over those channels when they're going to talk, and it's indeed happening. Like I open up the channel, swear to God, Richie, it was like 2 minutes, like in the left-wing mainstream channel, and then like last night I saw like 10 minutes of like a debate show, like in the right-wing channel of the news, and on the left-wing channel, okay. I kind of like opened up, and there I saw like the most expected thing you can find in days like this. And there's like a guy from the military, ex something in the military, sitting down in the studio, and telling all the other anchormans and all the people in the studio, now we should eliminate Gaza Strip, get down with all our weapons, all our arsenal, and flatten them down. Yeah, and eliminate Hamas. And this is what we should do. And all the other anchormen are like nodding their head with agreement. And this is what you see on the mainstream left-wing television. And over on the right-wing television was more disturbing for me, actually, because kind of like I saw they opened up the show and everything and said, it's a very sad day, and everyone like told like personal stories. And then they said, the anchorman kind of like came into the camera and said, I know that we have lots of like investigate and research what we did wrong over here and what was so badly prepared, and how did they manage to do so, and to find everyone who's like blamed for it. But now it's not the right time. Now the right time is to be united and go out and fight and flatten Gaza. Now, the thing that disturbed me about this this notification of him wasn't that we should be united. I do think that we should be. It's not that we're going to flat Gaza. I don't know. I don't have an opinion about it. But the actual destruction, okay, the actual say that he said, no, about the things that we fucked up, and they are representing the government because we have a right-wing government. So the thing that we fucked up over here, and we fucked up bad, really, really, really bad. We're not going to research it. It's been already, okay, in the past. Maybe, sometime in the future, we will get back to it and see what went down wrong. But now, let's go to war. And again, the destruction is about the narrative of who are the enemies over here, okay? And because the enemies, and I think that I told you previously on the show, I don't have any kind of like anger or like evil feelings towards the people who did this invasion and captured the people from my country and all of that. I know that they are soulless, brainwashed civilians, okay, civilians from their country, and I do blame their commanders, their heads, because I know they are cooperating with the ones who are really, really blamed for all of this, okay, which is the Israeli government, okay. And the thing is that people, as I told you today, are very troubled, okay, very feeling helpless. And I remember saying that to my mom on our talk. I told her, I know the conflict that they are going through, okay? I know the conflict that they are going through, because I would be in the same conflict if I wouldn't like know or understand what I understand, okay? Because your conflict is that you are regular like all of your life. You're like 70 years old, more than 70 years old, and she's really used to trust the government, to trust those people that supposedly been elected by the people, and she can't really perceive this kind of like treason, the way that the government is going versus its own people. So she can't really grasp it, but now when she's like seeing those physical evidence that I mentioned earlier about the improbability that this thing would ever happen again, so something start to be questioned with her, okay? But yet again, it's what the first reaction is usually dent your hand in the sand again, okay? And but the problem is that in this situation, if you're like burying your hand in the sand, you still remaining with the conflict, okay? You still like you can't let off this conflict that runs through your head. How can that be? That my government is versus me, but I'm seeing it on television. I'm seeing it like how it happens. I'm like with the acknowledgement that that they couldn't like make this invasion without the assistance of the government. Okay, and because they don't see the actual forces which are like in here, and we are like who are the real enemies in this thing. Okay, this is why what keeps the conflict inside their head, and to get them awake from this situation, I don't know if it's possible. I told you that this event in such a magnitude influence that I can't imagine that this slap won't wake them up. I don't know. I said that before on all kinds of occasions, and I was wrong. I do hope that I'm not wrong this time, Rich, because this is where lays all the things of it, okay? Because as well as they keep like shutting their eyes and ears to this conspiracy that we are like pumping in here for years and years, okay? If they will wake up to this conspiracy, okay, they will understand who are the real enemy, who's like causing all their suffering. And this is I think my last words. I think that like this is the what I have to say to people who are not woke up yet, who are not like who are hurt right now, who don't understand, and I do want to get back to what I said earlier about hope and about creation and about standing by the side of God in this thing, and about I don't know, tons and tons of things. I spoke with my father yesterday, and I talked to him about what was going on. Spilled out on my conspiracy. It was a really harsh talk. He didn't say much. Okay, just let me to spill out my conspiracy. I really respect and adore my father for letting me do so, and not shutting me down in the middle, or like trying to oppose me or something like that. And I'll tell you what, Rich, I don't think that I spoke about my father much over in your shows. And sorry for start crying right now.
Hey, it's right. I got my arm around you.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that with me and my father, the only thing that not the only thing, the thing that I most appreciate with him, his best quality is, and I'm saying that totally objectively, okay, with observing anyone else in this world. I I know that it's kindness of his heart. It's absolutely amazing, and it was this kind of like kindness of his heart is what let me spill out all the truth like in front of his face. He wouldn't stop me, okay, and and once I start talking to him about the subject of creation, I I gave him this advice of start creating, okay, and I don't know how he got it. I don't know what he's gonna do with this advice, if he's gonna listen to me or not. But we finished up the call, and kind of like started thinking for myself, who did I talk with, okay? And there's something that I appreciate my father also really highly. And it's a thing that I didn't get a chance to see much in my life because he wasn't much of a creator. He was kind of like a hardworking man, and he was pretty much occupied with keeping our family, and he didn't get much time left for creation and things like that. But I know, I really know, like from the bottom of my consciousness, that he's a lot more bigger creator than I am, and he got more potential, okay, and then I started thinking, like, why do I think that he has more creative power than I am? Because in the answer that I got to is because he's a better person than I am. And I'm also like aware that he's a better person than I am. This is why I consider his creative power a lot more than mine. And I do believe, and this is where I got into the conclusion, that the goodness of the heart equals to creation. Okay, it's how do you treat other people, and how do you treat yourself, and the kindness of your heart. It equals to the power of creation, and that led me to the conclusion that if for me to be a better creator than what I am right now, that it's something that I want to do, to be. So the way to get there is to be a better person. And I don't know yet how I'm going to do that, Rich. It's kind of like complicated.
It's not complicated, dude.
What?
It's not, being a good person is not complicated.
Yeah, of course. I don't think so. It's just, another obstacle that I'm trying to put in front of my road. That I know that it's not existed. Okay, I am planning to be a better person. Like, this is what my
Dude,
conclusion out of all of this. Okay, out of all that you and the chat room I spoke about, out of all of this is the conclusion that I got. Okay, that what I need to do at this moment, just to be a better person. That will ignite the creativity, that it will ignite the creation, and that will ignite the assistance to God in his spiritual war. And so I think this is the optimistic side that I can deliver at this point. And yeah, Rich, if you got like anything else to say, I'll be glad to hear. And then afterwards, I think that I will wrap things up for today.
No worries, dude. All I wanted to say was that all you need to do is be near. Just be you, mate. You don't need to like. You do your best as it is. You've always done your best. What you might be considering are things that make you bad. They're not. They're not. You don't. You're not a. In my opinion, these things that might be sins. They're not sins. They're just. It's just. It's lower chakra stuff. You know, it's physical and whatever. Going out and having fun and partying, dude. That's what we're here to do. To come and enjoy this earth and do it in a good way.
I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about my relation to the other person.
Right. Do you mean, are you talking about your dad?
No, I'm talking about everyone. Everyone.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, in my experience, dude, you're a beautiful person, and I wouldn't. You don't need to change. For me, as far as I'm concerned, you don't need to change. Just continue
No.
being you,
Yeah.
because you're a fucking bright, shining light amidst a lot of darkness. So just keep shining that light, brother.
I will. Thank you very much, Richie, for hosting me today. It's for me, it's been really important to blab out all the things that were like on my heart, and I'm so thankful for you for listening and for the dear chat room for listening. And yeah, I remember this show for a long time, I think.
No worries, dude. Thanks for joining us. I wasn't sure if you were going to or not, and I'm grateful that you did. You know, it gives a real aspect to what's going on. People get to hear it, and you know, a real testament instead of you know, some influencer with 200,000 subscribers or the news.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Listen.
Shalom, Rich. Shalom, chat room. Love you all. Bye
Be
bye.
well. Stay safe, and yeah, much love, man. And you know where I am. You find me anytime.
Sure. Bye.
See you later, mate. See you later. Ladies and gents, 3 hours and 20 minutes. It's nearly, and there's 33 people watching. So it's nearly a 322 and a 33. So we're all right. We're not Illuminati confirmed. Well, we are, because we've got 33 people watching when Nia left. But Leafy, mate, how long have you been sat there?